You know that feeling. Trying to keep up with tech news, and it's a flood.
Yeah.
You almost need a decoder ring sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. Information overload is real.
Well, today, think of us as your decoders. We're diving deep into SAP Sapphire 2025. And the big story, AI. It's not just some add-on anymore. It seems like it's really changing the core of enterprise tech.
That's exactly right. What really jumped out at me wasn't just, another AI announcement. It was the sheer breadth of it. SAP's talking about weaving intelligence into, pretty much everything.
Into the whole ecosystem.
Yeah, from how individuals interact with the software, right up to these complex automated processes, and even the underlying infrastructure itself.
Right. And look, wading through all the press releases and keynotes from these big events can be, frankly, exhausting.
Tell me about it.
So, our mission here today is pretty straightforward. We want to cut through that noise, pull out the key insights, the stuff that actually matters day to day. What does SAP's AI strategy really mean for businesses trying to figure all this out?
Yeah, the practical takeaways.
Exactly. Yeah. Think of this as your express lane to understanding the big shifts without getting bogged down in every single technical detail.
We'll be looking at how SAP is aiming to embed AI into daily operations, and maybe more importantly, what strategic points businesses should be thinking about now.
Okay, let's get into it. Starting with Joule. We've heard the name, but it sounds like it's really evolved, more than just a copilot now.
Oh, definitely. They're calling it an omnipresent digital teammate. And that's not just marketing speak. It reflects a genuine leap in what it can actually do. It's moved way beyond just answering simple questions.
Okay, so what's driving that? What are the key innovations making Joule feel less like a tool and more like this always present integrated helper?
Well, I'd say three main things really stand out. First, there's something called the intelligent action bar.
Okay.
The idea here is it proactively figures out what you might need next, based on what you're doing and, your past habits. It's like the system anticipates your workflow.
Sort of suggests the next step or the right tool.
Exactly. Offers relevant info before you even think to ask. Second, and this is huge, is the depth of integration across SAP's different software. Joule isn't stuck in one app.
Ah, so it works across different modules, different solutions.
Right. It can follow you, so to speak, providing a much more connected experience. We all switch between systems constantly, right?
All day long. Yeah, that cross-application piece sounds crucial for it to be genuinely useful day to day.
It really is. And then maybe the most intriguing development is this partnership they announced with Perplexity AI.
You're the kind of person who wants to stay ahead, especially, when it comes to your career.
Absolutely.
And the resource we've kind of got our eye on is Zequant AI's SAP AI Masterclass over on Udemy. Now, this isn't some huge, lengthy academic thing. It's designed with a very specific promise.
And it's quite a compelling one, especially if you're busy, right? Learn SAP AI in just 1 week. That's the hook.
Right, by dedicating maybe 30 minutes each day.
Yeah.
And focusing on practical, hands-on exercise. Because things are moving fast.
They really are. And if we zoom out a bit, thinking about your career path, having a solid grasp of how AI works within SAP, that could seriously set you apart.
Definitely.
It's about gaining a skill set that's going to be more and more in demand. No question.
So for you listening, this SAP AI Masterclass by Zequant.ai on Udemy.
Yeah.
It's positioning itself as a structured, manageable way to get relevant AI knowledge, specifically for the SAP world.
Maybe the most intriguing development is this partnership they announced with Perplexity AI.
Perplexity. Okay, so Joule's knowledge isn't just walled off inside the company's data anymore.
That's the key. This lets Joule reach out and tap into, the vast amount of real-time public data. It supplements the internal company info with verified external context.
Verified is important there.
Very. And they stress that it includes source attribution and even a relevance score. So you get transparency, you can judge the trustworthiness of the information yourself.
That trust layer is absolutely critical. Okay, you give us an example. How might this souped-up Joule actually work in a real business situation?
Sure. Let's imagine a procurement specialist. They're getting ready to negotiate with a supplier.
Okay.
They could ask Joule about, say, recent price trends for the raw materials that supplier uses. Joule could pull up the internal history, past contracts, payment records, but also use the Perplexity integration to fetch real-time market analysis, maybe news reports from reliable sources, all in one go.
All in the same interface.
Right.
Yeah.
So the specialist gets this much richer, fuller picture. Internal context plus external market reality. It's not just faster info, it could genuinely lead to better negotiation outcomes. It's about enabling smarter decisions.
Yeah, that really does paint a picture of moving beyond a simple assistant to something more, well, strategic. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. You mentioned specialized AI agents. So it's not just one AI trying to be a jack of all trades.
Exactly. We're seeing a definite trend towards purpose-built AI agents, each designed for specific business jobs. Think of it less like one general helper and more like assembling a team of AI specialists.
A digital workforce, almost. And SAP showed off a few of these at Sapphire. What kinds of roles are we talking about?
Yeah, they unveiled several pre-built ones. For instance, there's a shop floor supervisor agent. It's focused on manufacturing, optimizing production, predicting maintenance, managing workflows down on the floor.
Okay, very targeted.
Very. Then there's an expense report validation agent. Its job is basically to automatically check expense claims against company rules and flag anything that looks off, any anomalies.
Oh, I could see finance teams loving that one. That could save a ton of manual effort.
No doubt. Others mentioned were a performance and goals management agent helping track team metrics and alignment, and then a couple for sales like quote creation and catalog optimization agents, streamlining sales, keeping product info accurate.
So really specific function-focused AI. But, okay, if you have all these different agents doing their own thing, how do they talk to each other? How do they coordinate? It sounds like it could get messy.
That's a really important question. And SAP's answer is something called the agent-to-agent protocol, which they actually co-developed with Google.
Yeah, Google's involved too. Okay.
Yeah, and this protocol is key because it allows these different specialized agents to communicate, to coordinate tasks across departments, even across different systems. This is where you start seeing the potential for like real end-to-end automation.
So they can hand off tasks. Like one agent finishes its piece and triggers the next one?
Pretty much. Think about that complex custom order example again. The sales agent gets the order. It could then automatically ping the inventory agent to check stock.
Right.
Then trigger the production agent to schedule the manufacturing run. And finally, alert the logistics agent to sort out the shipping.
All happening automatically in the background.
That's the vision. Seamless coordination without someone having to manually connect the dots at each step. It's potentially a huge leap in efficiency compared to how things often work now, in silos.
That is a compelling picture. But okay, fast forward a bit.
Yeah.
You could potentially have dozens, maybe hundreds of these agents running around. How do businesses keep track? How do they manage all that? Sounds like its own challenge.
It absolutely is. Governance becomes critical. And SAP introduced two main platforms to handle this. First is the AI Agent Hub. Think of it as your central control tower for all things agent-related.
Okay, like a dashboard.
Exactly. A place to discover agents, deploy them, monitor how they're doing, manage their life cycle. A single view.
Got it. And the second one?
The second is the SAP LeanIX Agent Directory. This ties into their existing enterprise architecture management tool, LeanIX.
Connecting it to the IT governance edge.
Precisely. This makes sure your AI agents aren't just floating out there randomly. They're cataloged, they're mapped to business processes, they align with your overall IT strategy and policies. It provides structure, oversight, visibility into performance, resource use, all that good stuff.
So you get the management tools and the governance framework. That makes total sense if you want this to scale properly and not just create, well, digital chaos.
Right. It's about adopting AI responsibly and strategically.
Okay, now you mentioned the SAP AI Foundation earlier. Let's circle back to that. What exactly is it? Is it the engine under the hood for all this?
You could think of it that way. It's the underlying platform, the comprehensive set of capabilities that powers all of SAP's business AI. It sits within their business technology platform, BTP, their main platform for integration and development.
And it's pretty extensive, right? You said over 60 capabilities.
Yeah, it's a broad suite. Some key pieces to highlight. There's the AI agent runtime, which is literally where these agents run and are managed. Then there's a prompt optimizer.
What does that do?
It helps translate natural human language, what you type or say, into the precise instructions that AI models need to work effectively. It's about improving accuracy, making sure the AI understands the intent correctly.
Okay. Bridging that human-AI communication gap.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Definitely. There's also Joule Studio, which we touched on. It's a low-code visual tool for building AI skills or even entire agents. The goal there is democratization, making AI development accessible beyond just hardcore coders.
Lowering the barrier to entry.
Right. And for quality control, they have AI evaluation services tools for testing, benchmarking, validating your AI models, and finally, a knowledge graph component.
Knowledge graph.
Yeah, think of it as helping the AI understand the context and relationships between different pieces of data across the business. It connects the dots, enabling more intelligent insights than just looking at data points in isolation.
So the AI Foundation is really the toolbox in the factory floor for building, running, and managing these AI solutions within the SAP environment. It standardizes things.
That's a good way to put it. It provides the building blocks and the framework. Now, you can't talk about AI without talking about
Data. Always comes back to data, doesn't it?
always. And SAP definitely hammered that point home at Sapphire. You need good, clean, accessible data for any of this AI stuff to actually work well.
And their platform for that is the Business Data Cloud, the BDC. What were the key updates there? Anything major?
The big news was around connectivity. They announced enhanced integration with the big three public cloud providers: Google BigQuery, AWS, and Microsoft Azure.
Okay, so making the BDC play nicer with data stored on other clouds.
Exactly. Better interoperability. It means AI applications running on the BDC can more easily access and analyze data wherever it happens to live, whether it's in SAP systems or on AWS or Azure or Google Cloud.
Breaking down those data silos, that's crucial, especially with everyone using multiple clouds these days.
Absolutely vital. And they showed off some specific intelligent applications built on this enhanced BDC to illustrate the point.
Right. What were some examples?
There was people intelligence for HR analytics, workforce insights, spend control tower giving finance a clearer view of spending, spotting issues, green ledger for sustainability tracking.
And message reporting, yeah.
Right. And a 360 customer app aimed at pulling together all sorts of customer data for a unified view, driving better engagement.
So these apps really demonstrate taking that foundational data in the BDC and applying AI to turn it into actual usable intelligence for different parts of the business.
Exactly. It connects the data foundation to tangible business outcomes.
And of course, building all this requires developers. SAP seems very aware of that. What are they doing to empower the developer community in this AI push?
Yeah, they definitely highlighted the developer experience. We already mentioned Joule Studio for agents and skills, that low-code environment.
Right.
But they also introduced AI-enhanced ABA tooling. ABA, is SAP's core programming language, powering a lot of critical systems.
A lot of legacy systems sometimes.
Often, yes. And modernizing that code can be a huge task. So this new tooling uses AI to actually help developers analyze, understand, and update that ABAP code more easily.
Wow. Using AI to help fix or modernize older code, that's a pretty meta.
Yeah.
And potentially very valuable for companies with deep SAP roots.
It could be a huge time saver, yeah. What else stood out on the developer front?
They talked about making it easier to deploy BTP services through the big cloud marketplaces, AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, just simplifying the setup process.
Reducing friction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they introduced something called the Integration Suite AI Adapter. This sounds interesting. It lets developers plug in their own custom large language models, or LLMs, into SAP workflows.
So you're not just limited to SAP's provided AI, you can bring your own models. Seems so. It offers flexibility for organizations that might be developing specialized AI models internally or using third-party ones. So SAP seems committed to supporting different approaches, from low-code to integrating advanced custom AI.
Okay, let's zoom out again. If you had to distill the core strategic message from all these announcements at Sapphire, what would it be? What's the big takeaway?
I think the overarching theme is SAP firmly positioning AI not just as a feature, but as fundamental business infrastructure. It's being woven into the fabric of their core offerings.
Like electricity or the internet, for a business almost, becoming that essential.
That's the direction it's heading, yes. It's less about if you use AI and more about how it's integrated into your core processes. It's becoming table stakes, like your ERP system or your database.
So for businesses, especially those heavily invested in SAP, the message is AI adoption isn't really optional anymore if you want to stay competitive.
I think that's a fair assessment. The pace of change with AI is so fast. To stay agile, efficient, and insightful, integrating this kind of intelligence is rapidly shifting from a nice-to-have to a need-to-have.
And SAP's approach seems to be, we'll embed a lot of it for you, but we'll also give you the tools, the foundation, the studio, the adapters to customize and build your own solutions on top.
Exactly. They're providing both the built-in intelligence and the framework for companies to tailor AI to their specific operational needs and strategic goals. It offers a pathway.
Well, this has been incredibly helpful in decoding what came out of Sapphire 2025. It's definitely clear AI isn't some far-off concept in the enterprise world anymore. It's here, it's now, and it's reshaping things significantly.
Absolutely. SAP laid out a pretty comprehensive vision, and crucially, they seem to be delivering the tools and the roadmap to help businesses, especially their customers, make that transition.
So to wrap things up, here's something for you, the listener, to know on. Given everything we've discussed, this deep embedding of AI across processes, data, and development, what specific parts of your daily workflows or maybe your company's core decision-making do you see being most profoundly changed by this kind of intelligent automation in the near future?
Definitely food for thought.